All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to Savvy U. This week we're going to be taking a look at Builder and making edits, adjustments to our existing pages, and also creating new pages. I know we had a couple customers that wanted some more information on, doing blog posts, creating neighborhood pages, and landing pages for any ads that they were going to be running. So, without further ado, we'll jump into Savvy U today. Before we take a look at Builder, what I wanted to do was a quick recap of what we covered last week, and that's just kind of the basics and getting started with Real Savvy. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So I am logged into the CRM right now as a new agent, as a new broker, as the team administrator. The first thing that you guys are going to want to do once you get your Real Savvy platform is you'll want to log into the CRM and upload your contact list. So what that's going to do is when you upload them, it'll create accounts for them. So any future interaction that you have with them going forward, whether it be on the search, on the website, on your mobile app, it'll be really easy for those client contacts to access saved searches or any other emails that you send them, because you'll have already uploaded them to your CRM and created an account, an IDX account for them. So to do that, what we do is we log into the CRM, and that URL is going to be crm.realsavvy.com. Your password should be your email address, your username should be your email address, and your password should be Real Savvy. If you've changed it, then it's obviously going to be whatever you change your password to. And then we'll go right away here to settings and get started. And then we're going to click on this upload leads tab. So with our leads, we can upload email, first name, last name. Those are critical. That's what's going to allow us to create those IDX accounts. Those are the only three pieces that you need to create an IDX account. But we also have a couple other fields, phone, address, stage, tag, note, and email address. Those will be pulled into the CRM as well. So if you're a broker and you have a list of leads that you want to assign to different agents, if those agents have, or if those leads have agent emails, they'll automatically be assigned out to the specific agents that you designate those contacts for. Notes and tags, that'll pull in with those leads. If it's a bunch of leads from an open house, you can leave a note about that. If they're buyer leads, you can leave tags, and that'll allow you to kind of sift through that list a bit more quickly once you upload those leads. So I'm going to select Upload CSV File, and then we have a templated CSV on our help desk. I'll be sure to get you guys the link to that article, and it has the template on there. And what that's going to do is it will show you the fields, and it'll all automatically format these fields for you. It'll show you the proper headings and the fields that we can import. It's important to note that you can't add additional fields. So if you have something like, what do we not have on here? Maybe source. Source is something that wouldn't be pulled in. So whenever you're uploading these leads, just go to our help desk. There's a templated file there for you that you can just download and basically fill in the information that you need, and then we'd select create these IDX accounts. And again, what that's going to do is it's going to create accounts for all of our contacts that we're uploading. Typically, we'd like to stay away from sending confirmation emails. That's going to send out an email, just basically an e-blast, general e-blast to all of your contacts. And instead of doing that, what we'd like to do is create these accounts, and then after you've gone in and maybe created a search, you can send them more personalized email, just notifying them that they're set up and ready to go on your website. So we'll create an IDX account. We will hit this check mark to make sure that we upload all of these leads. And then I'm going to select next. Now, it says our leads have been imported, and I can go and I can check on these leads right here in our People tab. So if I scroll down, I see all the R16 or R15 or all of these have been uploaded. Now we had an email that wasn't associated with our account, so these are all unassigned. But if we were to go back and change that email to, I think my email on here is chance@realsavvy.com, or someone else's email address, we'd be able to assign those leads out. So these are all in here. And as you can see where it says over here, login as, this is telling me that they all have user accounts that have been created. If I look at this one, it says it's not connected to user, and that might be because this email has been used previously. But I can also see like our notes were did. We had a couple of tags that were imported as well. So the majority of these accounts have IDX, or the majority of these leads have IDX accounts now. So the next thing, after I import my leads, the next thing I'd want to do is I'd want to go over to my search. So you go to your website, you'd log in. Again, your login is going to be, for the search, it'll be the same as your CRM. So it will be your email address and then your password, whether it's set to Real Savvy, it's your first time, or whatever you changed it to after your initial login. So I'd come over here to my search, and then if I'm working with one of those leads, I can say, hey, I know that, we'll say Rick. I know that Rick was looking for a home in Terrytown. So I can start to pull in some of this criteria for him. And then I can do price range. I can do the listing type. I can do my price range over here. I can designate if I want a swimming pool, what I want the square footage to be. I can pick all those filters out. But we have 25 listings here, so that's pretty good. And I'll select this Save Search button. So this is going to prompt me to create a Save Search for my client. So I can just call this Rick Save Search. And I'm going to set my alerts to none. And you can change these just as you kind of feel. Your clients, once they get these search notifications, once I create this, they'll get an email. So I'll create this, and then I can invite my client. So after I create my Save Search, I have all my listings in here. I can see my listing criteria over here. This field right here is going to allow me to invite my contact list, my leads that I just uploaded to the CRM. So if I hit invite others, it'll start to populate with the leads that I uploaded. My account's a little weird just because it's an admin account, but I can come in here and I can say, hey, we want to invite, I think Tony was on there. Obviously Rick was in there. So I can send out these emails to my contact list. If I'm making it for a specific contact, I would just want to invite Rick, and I can invite that one person, and he'll get an email notifying him that I've set up this Save Search for him. So then the next steps for Rick would be he'd see an email from his real estate agent, and he would click that link. And because the way we have it set up, we've already created his IDX account. We have something called magic links, which will allow him to essentially open up that email and start looking at this search right away. So he can open this up, he can start looking at homes. And then the next thing that's going to kind of happen in the natural progression is he's going to say, oh, this 2006 Hoppy Trail, I really like this one. I'm going to save it. And once he saves it, what that's going to do is prompt him to create a home board or a home collection. So these are really effective at kind of going through and picking out in the entire market your favorite home. So for example, if I am an agent and I'm doing showings on the weekend, I can go through and I can select the 5 or 6 homes that I'm taking clients to see this weekend. I can send them an invite to a board. So I'll create this board also for, actually it looks like we have one already, but showings this weekend. So I can create this board for my clients. I can again send them an invite. I'll send this invite to Rick, and he'll say, oh, okay, these are the 5 homes that we're going to go see this weekend. And he's able to access this on his desktop. He's able to access it on his mobile app. Another useful feature for the boards is if you're a broker, you're a member of a team, you can create one of these boards, and I could call this, I could call it maybe Rightmove Realty listings. And I can go through and I can have all my agents pin their homes to that board. So then we have a collection of all the office listings, and we can go through and start leaving comments like, hey, is anybody available to show this Monday? Open this weekend. So you can start to coordinate and use that collaboration within the office and then your agents will start to feel more comfortable showing this and using this with their clients as well. Another useful feature for the home collections and the home boards is if I have a client and I'm trying to sell their home, once I have their home listed on the MLS like this, maybe I'll delete this just so there's no confusion. I have their home listed and I can send them messages at 9 o'clock at night saying, hey, I just sent out a list of buyers. I just wanted to make you aware, let you know that I'm kind of hustling and working for you. So it's really useful for, these home boards are really useful for connecting with your seller clients and letting them know that you're actively marketing their listing. They're helpful for letting your buyers know what their favorite homes on the market are, or what is nearby that you think that they would like that's on the market. And they're also helpful for getting your team on the same page internally within the office as far as collaborating, knowing what's available, what you guys have as far as office listings and things like that. So again, just a quick recap. When we initially get all of our Real Savvy tools, the first thing that we'll want to do is upload our leads to the CRM, upload our contact list to that CRM. The next thing that we'll want to do is log into the search. And you'll want to create, if you're a member of a team, you'll definitely want to create that board of office listings. And then you'll also want to start creating saved searches for your leads that you just uploaded or your contacts that you just uploaded. And then the last thing that we'll want to do as new Real Savvy customers or users is we'll want to go to our site and we'll want to download the mobile app and begin to share that. So typically on most sites, you guys should have a Get the app up in your navigation somewhere. And then you'll also have a button down here. Once I click on that, it's going to take me to an app page where I can enter my phone number and the app will be texted to me. From there, you can continue to enter in your other customers, contacts, clients' numbers, or within the app itself, there's a share this app feature that you can then send out. So once you do that and you set up these saved searches, your clients are going to be getting searches that they can open up right away, whether it be on their phone or on their desktop. And they'll be able to log into those searches using the magic links. So that's a quick recap of kind of the basics, what you want to do first when you're using Real Savvy. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Tony so we can kind of walk through and again, editing our website and playing around with those landing pages and neighborhood pages and things like that.
All right. Can you mute? Okay, good. Chance. Good. Okay. All right. So I wanted to go through. Sorry, I have to make it. All right, wanted to go through Site Builder. We're gonna do about 10 minutes on Site Builder, a brief overview for anyone who hasn't done anything on here and is curious, and then we'll open it up to some question and answers, and want to make sure we get to as many of those as possible in the hour. So Site Builder, the best way to think about it is a completely different part of the platform than what Chance over, which is the home search and your CRM. Site Builder is it's a CMS or content management system to change basically your image, the images, the text, everything on your website. So like the book cover for the whole thing. So everything from what's on the home page to the agent pages, all that is what we're going to refer to as your website. When you click on the search here, that's when we're kind of more talking about the IDX. So with Site Builder, we have one login. Your login is actually different from your CRM and IDX or RealSavvy account because there's only one of them per site. And that's so different people editing it aren't overwriting each other. So you'll have one login for that, which you can share with whoever's making updates. But once you log in, it's at builder.realsavvy.com. You're going to come to this, which is the menu. And this is where you will have all of your pages. So depending on what page you want to edit, you can hit the more pages and you'll see a list of all of the pages that make your site up. So let's say we wanted to change the homepage. Find homepage, open it up. You'll see a preview over here, which is kind of good when you're making small changes, like say you wanted to change, make the right move, to put, find your dream home. It's easy to view what it looks like over here. Really what you want to do for more complex edits is open up another window, which you can do with this little icon right here, and then flip back and forth. So once you open up the page, you'll see a list over here of all the blocks. Blocks are what we call a piece of website functionality. And they're all in order as they're laid out on the page here. So you'll notice we have standard navigation, and then we have our standard navigation here, search cover, this is the search cover, and on. So within these blocks, you can click them to open up that block to make edits. You can move them around by grabbing this menu here and moving them up and down the page. Let me show you that. So, move things like that. You can rename them by clicking these three dots here or delete them. So let's say we wanted to make an edit to our cover. We go to the home page, we click on search cover to open it up, and here is everything, all the content on that block. So every block's gonna have content and settings. For the most part, content's gonna be, text, images, that sort of thing, and settings is gonna be the color, the shape, size, how you want it displayed. So if we want to change this to find your dream home, we can just replace it. Then we can do things like, make it bold or whatnot. You can also change stuff here. We can go ahead and change the background image to something else. And then over in settings, we can do things like invert the colors, show a search button, right? All these kind of things that we can do to change up the look. Once we have something that we like, we want to lock that in. We just got to hit the green save button to lock that in. It'll prompt you before you leave there that you will not save if you attempt to flee, but always hit that. If you do something you don't like, we change this image, we don't like it. Before you hit save, you can just hit refresh, and it'll bring you back to where you were the last time you saved. So that's how you edit blocks here. I'm just gonna do another one. Let's say we wanted to change the background color here. We could open this back up and find what that's called, which is image inline. Or you can also click this edit right below it, although sometimes that gets a little confusing on which one you're actually doing, but if we click that, we can see, yeah. So we want to change the color, so that's actually in settings, background, we can change to dark, right? And then we'll save to lock that in. So that's how you edit blocks on the page. Another thing you can do is add blocks with this right here. So every page will have this. Let's say we want to add something to our contact page. We'll open this up. We can even search. When you have a lot of pages, this is useful. Want to open up that page. And on this one, we wanted to add a map to the office, right? There's already one here. So we'll add a video. So we have our list of blocks here. We want to hit add to add a new block. And here is the list of everything that's available to you. It's a lot. There's a preview image, but it's sort of in order. We got some navigations here we could swap out. We got some covers, forms, that sort of thing. So we wanted a video, so let's find. Here's one video option. Looks like a video on half the screen and a little area for text. Here we got a gallery of YouTube videos. And let's say we're going to go with this one. So we go ahead and add the block. It's always going to add it right above the footer. After you configure it the way you want, we can move it around, or we can do that now. Say we want to move it up right above the office cover. All right. I guess I need to add something to that one first. So here we need to add a YouTube video. Add a title here. Let's say we don't want to leave any description. We would paste our YouTube video here. Go to settings. We're going to flip the layout and set the text alignment. So now we have our new YouTube video here on the page, and we could save it to lock that in. Say we want to move that actually down to the bottom. We can move it and see what it looks like. Once you hit save, you can actually open up this other window we started and refresh it. And see how it looks. Here we have our video. So that's how you add a new block to a page. Other than pages here, you have some other sections. Team, this is where you can edit your team member. So what goes on the team member page. Each team member agent will be able to edit their own page through the CRM, but you as the admin will have access to all of them. So you can go in here. If Patricia got a new headshot, you could go in here and upload that. She now looks like Chance, and make that change. So that's under the team section. Then you got blog. That's where whoever is handling the posting of the blogs will compose those and change the style, add a new one here. Then you have the style section, which sets the primary and secondary colors of your website. You have a few different font options here that you can change. And then there is a site style that is kind of a real savvy thing. I wouldn't mess with that too much, but if you do it, it changes the shape of the search box here. So, but the primary and secondary color, real quick on that, you'll notice that in the blocks, you can set colors to either primary, secondary, dark, or light. Black and white are the defaults there, and then your primary and secondary are what are set here. So this would be if you're going to set a button up on this page, you could make it green or this light gray that we've set. Then the last one here is settings. You can do some SEO stuff here, site-wide SEO. And then there's property stuff, which is basically what we use at Real Savvy to hook up your market stuff. So you won't be a whole lot you'll do in here. And then URL redirects that you can set here. There's more information on this on help.realsavvy if you're interested in that. But that's a quick overview of Site Builder. One more thing while I'm here is you can change the view. So here we have what it looks like on a desktop, but I want to see what it looks like on a tablet. You click here, or a phone. So every block is optimized, so it will translate to a different device. But this is for you to just check and make sure it looks the way you want it to look. All right, so that's about it for Builder. Wanted to then now open it up to questions.
Well, I think before we open it up into questions, do you want to jump in and show everyone how to create let's create a landing page.
Okay, you want to
Yeah,
pass it over to you?
So I'll jump in and share my screen again.
So what Chance is saying is creating a brand new page here. So we kind of went over editing a block.
Sorry, I think I should steal
All right.
the screen from you.
That's all right.
Can you guys hear me? Testing, testing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so sorry about that. So if I wanted to create a page, I'd open up our builder menu over here, and I can go ahead and I can select new page. So what that's going to do is it's going to give me the option to give the page a title. So if we were creating one for a specific listing, we'd probably want to use the address for that listing. If we were doing one for a neighborhood, we'd want to do that neighborhood. So I think we should just go with a basic listing. So I'll just call it 500 South Lamar Drive. And what this slug is going to do is it's basically going to translate what we have here, and it's going to translate it down into the URL. So you won't have to worry about this. This will fill in automatically for you. I can select create. So now that my page is created, I can see it went ahead and it threw my standard navigation in here, and it threw my footer in here. So now it's up to me to go through and pick and choose those blocks that Tony showed us earlier and kind of choose the right ones to highlight whatever content pieces I have or that I want to display on this page. So for the most part, most all your pages, you're going to want to start with a cover. So we have a few options up at the top as far as photos, videos. We have covers with search bars, covers that just have buttons like the ones that we have here. So it's really dependent on you. And because we're doing a listing, I probably want to start with a cover of that specific listing. So I can select this button, and I want to clear some of this stuff out because I'm just going to use a cover shot for the listing. Or maybe I'll put the address in here as the headline. So I can give us a headline here. I can clear out some of this stuff, and then I can change my photo. So we'll say that this is our listing headshot. And then if I want to add a call to action right here at the top, I can change this button, and I can have it say schedule a showing or something along those lines. If it were a neighborhood page, I could have it say view all neighborhoods and go straight to my IDX. It just depends.
Turn that button off, turn the other one.
This button? Oh, I see what you mean. So yeah, Tony's right. There's two buttons here. So this one's actually schedule a showing. But I can turn this off and on, and I can do the same for this button. So if we didn't want any buttons, we wouldn't have to have them. So I'll move, or I'll just turn this one off, turn this one on. And then what I can do is I'll connect this button right here. So we have three options for connecting buttons. External URL, that's going to be if we wanted to link to like a lender page or Google or something that's not internally on our website. If we're wanting to link internally to the site, we'd select page. And then I can, for this one specifically, schedule showing, I'd probably go with my contact. Or if it's a specific agent's listing and you want it to connect to that agent, you can select team. And what it'll ask you to do is it'll ask you to start typing the first couple of letters of their name. And then that's going to direct me or connect me directly to that agent's page. So those are your three options for connecting really any button or link on the site. But we'll go with page for now, and we'll just go to the contact us page. And so this is kind of set up. We have all the content pieces that we want in here. So now we're going to play with the layout of this block a little bit because we really can't see the photo too well. So we can go to settings, and I can make this a little bit taller. so we get a better shot, and then I can turn my overlay down just a bit. So that looks a little bit cleaner, and I'll go ahead and save my page. And so really building out the rest of the page is just kind of following more or less those same steps. So for this one specifically, we'd probably want to add text descriptions. So I have it broken down here in these kind of small feature blocks. There's a few paragraph blocks that I could use that'll add text. There's a handful of different options. So I'll go with, I'll just throw one of these in here. So I can add a photo here, maybe another photo of the listing here. And then I can add just a couple words about the listing. So I'm just gonna throw that in there. And then whenever you're copying and pasting text, sometimes it'll blow up really large like this. These buttons up here, these will allow you to kind of format the text the way you need it to. So this is going to clear any formatting that I have, and if I wanted to bold something or italicize it, I can do that as well. And then you'd probably throw your listing description in here or whatever you need to, just to kind of fill this space, add content for SEO and things like that. And then we can go through and start adding more photos. So if I wanted to get a bunch of photos of my listing, or if I wanted to add like a contact form, I can go through and I can kind of pick and choose the items that I want to add to the page. So this one has a bunch of photos that I can use. And I don't think we touched on adding photos, did we?
Just quickly ones that were in here. But
Okay, yeah, so whenever we add a photo, each block, if you can add a photo, it'll have something that says image URL or choose photo, something along those lines that relates to image. Whenever you hit change, we have all of these photos in here, this photo bank that exists. But if you want to upload something new, you just have to hit this green button, and then you can drag and drop up to 10 photos in here, or you can click on select photos and pick 10 that way and upload them to the site. And then once you've uploaded those images, they'll exist, they'll stay in here. So for this block, we just go through, probably delete all these words and just add images of the listing. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what one of these pages could look like. And then you can, if you didn't want it to exist in this grid, you could kind of delete a few of these out of here just to get some cool, some different looks. So these aren't the best images, but just to give you an idea of what you can do with these pages. So if we had, 5 photos in here, it would look a little bit different than the standard grid. But that's kind of more or less,
form probably.
yeah, the process you'd go through with creating a page. At the bottom, we probably want to add just one more piece of lead capture, a contact form. You can go through, again, change the photo. We have a couple different options actually for contact form. So this one is one of my personal favorites just because of the photo. But we have just a standard blank contact form, and then we also have a pop-up lead capture that you can have pop up on the page after 2 seconds or after 30 seconds. It's just kind of up to you. But yeah, you can add a contact form to the page, go through and kind of change what these say. You also have the ability to add form fields. This gets a little complex. So if I click on this, you can see right here it's labeled, it says first name, here. If I change this, I could just say name and leave this alone and it'll be fine. What's important to note is where it says name right here. This was probably a bad example just because it says name. But where it says name right here, this needs to be filled in because this is what's going to allow the CRM to recognize that there's a field there. So to give you an example, if I still have it open, if we have, I don't think we have any forms that were filled in. Yeah, so we don't have any forms that were actually filled in, but whenever you get a form submission, each field has this name next to it. So if somebody submits a form and it doesn't have a name, our system is not going to be able to recognize it, and you won't be able to see the form. So if you're adding new fields to your contact forms, you shouldn't need to. But if you are adding new fields, you'll just want to make sure that this is filled out, all lowercase, no spaces.
We'll contact support. Well,
Yeah, or you can contact us at support@realsavvy.com, and we can help you with getting those forms set up. But yeah, I think that kind of covers the nitty gritty of creating a page. What's gonna take the most time with building one of these landing pages is just gathering the content and figuring out how you want to lay it out. Because once you know, like if this were a listing and I had another listing that I wanted to build a page exactly like it, or if you have a bunch of neighborhood pages that you want to create, it's very easy to duplicate these by selecting this clone page. What that's going to do is it's going to clone that exact page, and then all you need to do is go into main settings, and you can change the name of it and change your slug, and you'll be good to go with creating large amounts of pages. If you're going to do that, please let us know so that we can kind of make sure that your slug and everything is set up the correct way. But as far as building out a bunch of pages for your website, it's very easy to do once you have the content and you have the, I guess, the visualization of the page that you want to build. Yeah, so that's all I have for creating pages. Do we have any questions? Let me pull up
I can
our,
read the questions.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Doesn't look like we have any questions though.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let's open the floor to questions for now, and if we don't have any within the next,
Yeah.
say 5 minutes,
Yeah.
we'll sign off and make sure that everybody gets a copy of the webinar today, and then we'll send out another invite for next week. I'm not sure what the topic will be next week. I'm leaning towards doing an in-depth look at the CRM and all the features that we can kind of touch on there, just because that's the tool that's changing the most. But would love to get your guys' feedback on pieces that you'd like to look more at, whether it be CRM, the search itself, maybe the
SEO.
mobile app. SEO would be a good one. And we actually have a pretty good help desk article on SEO
Yeah.
too.
Can you show that help desk? Maybe that is something to go over.
Yeah. So while we're waiting to see if we have any questions, I'll pull up the help desk. We are constantly updating this and trying to keep it up to date. It's a little difficult just because our engineering team is releasing so many guys. Okay. So Michael wants to see the final look at this listing that we just added. So I'll jump back really quickly. I'll toss this down here. Where were we?
Builder.
Yep, but I can't find. I might have closed. Oh, I think I did close it.
It's right there to the left.
Oh, yeah. So this is the clone page that I made. This is the landing page. Oh, it looks like I didn't save my work, which is unfortunate. That's happened one too many times. But if I were to, if I wanted to see the actual live version of this page, I can just grab my URL right here. So I'll click the preview button first. So this is what we have saved in Builder right now. Again, my photos and contact form, I didn't hit the save page button, so those are gone until I add them again. But this is what the live version of the page would look like. And then if I wanted to pull that up over here, I'd go to my millennium.realsavvy.com and I add that slug in there that we looked at earlier, and it will pull up that page for me on the live site. Tyler, how do we connect a new landing page to the grid properties? For example, on my site, under featured neighborhoods, I would like my landing page about the city to pop up, not the IDX search. Yeah, so, okay. And I think that's kind of the same question that, that Michael had as well. So Tony, I think what they're asking is, once we have this page created, how do you access it from the live site? So we'll use Tyler's example specifically. So if I had created this page, there's a couple of ways that I can connect it to the live site. So I'll jump over to Builder. So one of the ways, if let's say I created a new contact page, or maybe I started a campaign for veterans. And so whatever I was doing, I wanted to have it in my navigation so that it would show up on my IDX page everywhere. And I wanted to add it up here. I can come over here to standard navigation, and I can add, sorry, you guys are in my way. I can add a new tab and link it to that page. So I could add this, and I could say my listing. And then same way we linked up the schedule a showing button. If I wanted to do an external URL, which I don't, I want to link internally to the page. So I'd select page, and then I can go through and find this 500 South Lamar Drive, because that's what we named the page. So now on my listing, once I hit this Save Page button and preview it, this is going to take me, actually, let's start from over here. So if I'm on the search, oh, this is that weird navigation.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do this. Give me a second, guys. We have a alternate navigation on this site specifically. Is this it's a market nav, isn't it? No.
Yeah, this is a complex one that we use for demos, so it's not working.
Do you know what?
I just wouldn't use that page. Most sites are going to have the same navigation on every page.
Well, I'll do this. I'll go with the Vince site. So I'm going to jump over to a completely different page, or a completely different site. So this is a site for here in Austin, and if I created a page, so this is actually the original landing page that we built for this site. So again, if I wanted to add it to the navigation, I can select my navigation here, and I can add the listing. So I'd say 2005. I don't even remember what this listing is. I'll just call it 2005. And I can link this page to 2005. It's South 5th Street. So the page is already created. I can connect it in the navigation that way and hit save. And so what that's going to do is, if I go to the live site or the preview of the site, I can go to the home page, and I can see that that's in my navigation now. So if somebody clicks that, it's going to take them to the page that we just linked to. So that's option one, if you want to connect to a page in the navigation.
You can really, after the page is created, you can link it anywhere on the page. You could put a link in the footer, a button on the content, really anywhere. Every block has a link. Almost every block has a link function on it. So
yeah, so kind of to piggyback on what Tony is saying, I think on this Search Cover V3, we have the ability to create links. Yeah, so if I wanted to link right here, I could just select add, and again, page, I go to that 2005 South 5th Street, and I could just give this my listing. And so now I have a button right here in my cover that's going to take me directly to that page. To answer your question, Tyler, as far as your grid goes, if I have a grid property, so if it's this grid property page, you're not going to be able to link that. So these are pulling in listings directly from the IDX. So you won't be able to link these to pages that you've built, because the information is being pulled from the IDX. Another option that you could do is use like one of these featured listing blocks. So we have a couple different options for this, but this feature listing block was built almost specifically for this. And then you can go in, you can add the picture that you want. You can add off MLS. So just to show you, if I were to re-add this one, I'd hit this add button, and I can scroll down. You could use something like this too, these content cards, and throw listing information in there. And then you could connect them the same way with these pages. But the block that we used for this one specifically was a featured listing block. So that would be this one here. And so again, as you can see, guys, almost every block that has a button gives you the ability to link to one of those, to any page that you've created. How could I do a new page that is a search and then link to that page? So I want to make sure I understand the question correctly. So what you're saying is, how would you set up a page that is a search? So let's say I wanted to create a search for homes here in East Austin.
Note that he's doing this on the actual site. So up here it says the vinchumrealty.com. You don't want to do that on the preview.
Right.
Because you're going to be linking to an actual search result. So open up your actual website, do this thing.
Yeah, and again, we can help you guys with this because it gets a little complex in here. But we'll pull up the actual IDX. We'll create the search that we want. So if it's a specific neighborhood, if you want to do homes between a certain price range or whatever, you go in, you enter that criteria on your search, and then you can just take this entire link and copy it. And then I'll go back to my site. And if I were doing,
You're going to want to log out first before you do that.
log out of
The search.
Oh, yeah. So
It's a good way to get all the leads to you.
Well, yeah. So if you're a broker, that's really good to point out, Tony. So one thing I want to note, whenever you're doing any tests or anything like that, this SIGAD will still exist. And what that's going to do is it's going to identify any links that you share or send with your account for the website. So if you're a member of a team and you're sharing these links, every lead that comes in using that link is going to be assigned to you in the CRM. So if you guys are creating pages for the site as the broker or as the admin, you'll want to make sure that you get rid of this stuff. So I'm going to actually open this in an incognito window just to be safe. That's the best way to make sure you're not being tracked by our CRM, because it's able to do a deep dive essentially into your cookies and identify your searches. And then I'll just use the same criteria. So I'll pull up East Austin, and you can see that SIGAD is gone now. So it's just the info pulling the listing. I'm going to pull up the map view. And so I take this URL and I come back over here to, I'll close both of these. I come back over here to my search, and wherever I want to add that information, like if actually this would have been a good one to do. If I wanted to change search Austin open houses to search the east side, yeah, I could go in. Actually, that's better. I'll just add one. So I can actually add another field here. I'll say search the east side. I don't know if it's one word or two. And then instead of using a page, because we grab this, we don't have an actual page built for this on our site. We use an external URL in this case. This is a little bit different from linking to a page on your site, because this page wasn't actually created on the site or in the builder. So you'd grab this link from your site, paste it in here, and then you'd finish editing if you wanted to. We'd probably pull all this stuff out. But once I hit save, I can pull up my preview, and I can go and I see down here that it says search the east side. I click view details, and it's going to take me directly to that search. So again, this is it was a great question, Tyler, but this is really good if you want to do some sort of campaign on, hey, this is a really nice neighborhood, but I can find you homes in this $1 million neighborhood for under $1 million. So great question. I hope that I gave you as much information and answered it correctly as I could. How could I do a new page that is a search and then link to that page? Correct. Yep. Okay. Yeah, great questions, guys. Any others? I want to say we actually did a page like that for this event site. Let me remove this. So open house is dependent on the market. So typically the best way to see if you guys have open house, and please let us know what you find in regards to this. If you have an open house filter on your market, so Austin is where Real Savvy is based. So every filter that we have on here should work, and this view is a little bit different. But I know that we have open house because I can go in here and I can select, I can find it, search open house, and I see that all of these listings have open houses. Some of our markets don't have the open house filter. If they do have the open house filter and it's not working, please let me know, and I'll remove it, and then I'll take a look and see if we actually have the data to show that filter status. Because what we're finding, what we're finding for a lot of these is that we have the data. It's just not mapped correctly right now, and so we're trying to retroactively go through and fix the mapping so that we can have most of these filters available. Again, not all of them will be available. Austin was this market was set up a little bit differently than some of the other markets out there, but for the most part, you guys should have all the listings that are kind of important as far as like active, residential, all those sort of things. Okay, so the SIGAT, the easiest thing to do, guys, for the SIGAT is I wouldn't worry about removing it. The best thing to do is whatever page that you have pulled up, just go to incognito, and that's going to keep the SIGAT from showing up. So if I wanted to go to my IDX,
You can log out too.
well, yeah, you could log out, but I've had instances where it still tracks me even when I'm logged out.
Which is fine. What it would do if you did, let's say you didn't remove that, is that anyone who wasn't set to a particular agent, maybe just found the site through a Google search or something like that, and they hit the link that you set up, they're going to be assigned to you at that point, because the system's going to assume that you provided that link, and that's how the person got to the site, right? Or found that, and so it's going to give you credit for it. So I'm assuming a lot of times the person who is setting up, a page in Builder, setting up a neighborhood page, isn't the person you want every lead to go to, which is why we were saying to remove that. Yeah.
And then, so if you are on here, you have your search all set up, you don't want to redo it in incognito, all you need to do is grab from where it says SIGAT to the rest of the link, and you should be able to just delete that out. Actually, no, it doesn't look like you can do that on here. So it would be SIGAT and then all of this information. Again, this is why I tend to lean towards just doing it in an incognito window. So it would be all the way until this Q over here. But again, easiest thing to do would be to pull that same search up in incognito, and you should be fine. We have any other questions? All right, well, it actually looks like we're getting close to time. So if you guys have any other questions, please let us know at support@realsavvy.com. We will be sending out a recording of the video of our webinar today, as well as an invite to the one for next week. Please let us know your feedback on what you guys think or what you'd like for us to kind of cover next week. Again, I'm leaning towards the CRM, but if there's something else that's kind of pressing, that's really crucial to someone's business, please let us know, whether it be the mobile app or getting more in depth with the search. Yeah, I think that covers it. Stay savvy, folks.